All right, man, we back again for First Class and No Class podcast. It's your host, Trizzythebagman, and I'm here with my guy, Chris A. Williams. How you doing today, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I appreciate you having me.
Man, what's up, man? I had to get him in here, man. I had to. He gonna bless us with some valuable game, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, look, man, this wasn't something that was just meaningless to me. I had to get him on here. I felt like he could talk to us in a way that, you know, a lot of us may need that type of talking to, you know what I mean? But
most definitely.
We was talking about some things behind the scene, man, and we'll get into that shortly. I just kind of want to, like, take a step back and get into you and kind of talk about what made you want to get into real estate in the beginning.
Yeah, what made me want to get into real estate? That's a great question that everybody asks me. So, unlike a lot of people who's in real estate, I didn't really have any background in real estate. Nobody in my family was doing real estate. I didn't know anybody in real estate. My mom used to watch HGTV when I was a kid, and like I would just go to the other room because I didn't care nothing about houses. That had nothing to do with me.
Right.
I really came up as an athlete, as a football player. Around my town, that's what I was known as a football player. So I had done football all my life, and I graduated from high school, and I committed to a college for football. That ended up not working out. I had my scholarship revoked a week before our training camp started.
Been there.
So I'm back home now. You getting those questions. Everybody's like, you know, I thought you were supposed to be gone. Why are you home? Exactly. I was getting all those questions. So I was trying to figure out, man, what's the next step? So I was working at Foot Locker at the time, and I also picked up a job at Enterprise. And I just knew that wasn't the ceiling for me. Like, it's got to be something bigger in life than that. So at Enterprise, I cleaned cars. I wasn't even a salesperson. I was just a car cleaner. And when I was cleaning cars, I had a lot of time to either listen to music or read or listen to books or listen to podcasts. And one of my favorite podcasts at the time, the host, he would always talk about real estate. But what I realized was he was talking about real estate investing. And the thing is, at that time, I thought you had to have a lot of money to get into real estate investing. So I'm like 20, I'm 19, 20. I'm like, man, I'm broke. I got $37 in my bank account. I'm taking Ubers. Like, how am I, do real estate investing? So I did some more research, and then real estate agent popped up. I'm like, all right, cool. Because remember, I'm working at Foot Locker at the time.
Right.
I'm selling shoes, and I'm one of the top salespersons in the district. So I'm like, cool, I'm great at sales. If I could sell shoes, I could sell houses. That's exactly my mindset.
Okay.
So I went on Indeed. There was only 2 places that were hiring people who weren't licensed at the time, and I applied to both. One never called me back, and one did, and I ended up getting my foot in real estate. Literally, 2020, literally like a week before the world shut down is when I first started in the office. So 2020, crazy time.
Wow, man. Wow. I'm not going to lie, bro. Just hearing that is a little bit more inspirational, because a lot of us don't necessarily have an idea of how everybody gets into everything. So you kind of assume that they already had it figured out. But, I'm not the most outgoing person. Yeah. Like I'm sociable, but I can be a little to myself. I'd really rather be to myself. So the thing is that I get nervous when it comes to time to think about, all right, I got to go and present myself, and I got to sell, and I got to make you like what I'm pitching. Yeah. And it kind of makes me a little nervous. You know what I'm saying? It makes me a little nervous, and it kind of backs me up a little bit, just being honest. Like, what would make somebody, even as somebody else that may be interested, doing real estate, and just kind of think like, oh man, what if this, what if that, because there's always a what if. I think it's just trying to figure out how to get past it, and then seeing people that you feel, not saying that you're not who you are, but people that you feel are more like you. You feel like that's more accomplishable. So that's a big one, man. To kind of go in on what we were talking about earlier, man, I signed up, believe it or not, man, I signed up. I paid the whole little Keller Williams thing and never went.
Oh, snap. You paid, you ain't go? Why didn't you go?
Bro, honestly, bro, that same conversation that I'm telling you now, that sense of like I'm big on backing out if I feel like it don't make sense. Like, all right, why are you really doing this? Like, I start asking myself the whys.
Yeah.
And it's got to make sense to me in that moment.
Yeah.
I backed out, bro. I really did. I wasn't prepared, you know what I'm saying? And I was just young looking for something. You know? But like you say, you see so many people talk about it. You're around it.
Yep.
You know it's worth it. It's just figuring out where to get in and how to get in, you know, because like you said, the first thing that I assumed when I first seen people doing this was, oh, you got to have a bag. Like, you got to have some real money.
Yeah.
You got to buy the property.
Yeah.
You got to refurbish the property. What if something wrong with it, like the foundation of it and all that, you know, like I seen somebody spend a ton of money on pipe work because they had clay pipes.
Yeah.
And they had to replace them to the newer ones. And I'm like, man, dog. I'm like, I seen that and I was like, I just don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I know it's somebody else out there that's sitting there that's going, yo, I can see myself doing this. But the idea of where you got how strengthful it is. Like, matter of fact, let me ask you this. And I know this is a little personal.
Okay.
Do you feel like the investments you made in the beginning were more drastic or out of your personal finances that you spent out of your own pocket? Do you feel like it was drastic? Was it do you feel like you were rolling the dice, or was it more so like it was already like, all right, this is not too bad, this is not too much. I feel like what I'm spending on my career works for me without breaking the bank, you know, because like I said, like I've talked to people who I had a guy, you know, he charged me $10,000 to walk us around and practically told us nothing.
Yeah. That's unfortunate, man. It's a lot of scammers that are out here that are doing stuff like that. So that's why I try to give as much value at a cheaper price. Cheaper may not be the best word, but it's all about the value that you can get.
Right.
So
I'll never
quality.
Deny that whatever the worth is, it's worth it.
Yeah, exactly. But even if he is charging $10,000, all right, like he just has to prove why it's $10,000. If he's just doing vanilla stuff,
he just got
you know,
because
something
I was young and naive.
There's a lot of people that prey on that, unfortunately.
God,
especially because real estate, the way they make it seem online, like it's just so easy, you can just make so much money. That's not really the case. There is a lot of ways to make a lot of money in real estate, and you don't have to have like no type of background. Doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter where you're from, nothing like that. But you do have to have the knowledge with it. That's the most important, one of the most important things I'll say, having the knowledge and also putting in the work. So going back to your question, like you're saying, you know, as far as did I spend like a drastic amount to start?
Right.
To start, I would say it was, I actually did super roll the dice. Now I think about it.
Okay.
Now I didn't spend that much money. You know, it was a few hundred, maybe a few thousand, but I
for what
didn't
you
have
had,
the money at the time. You know,
right.
I was working at Enterprise of Foot Locker. That's barely over minimum wage.
Right.
Foot Locker was commission, but it's not nothing. Maybe $1,000 each check, something. So you're not making that much money. Remember, I had like $2,000 in my stocks account, and that's what got me through my first year because I didn't start off popping either. I only sold 2 houses my first year.
So you were already into stocks?
I was into stocks a little bit, just a little bit.
Okay, but you had the game kind of like you were knowledgeable of like how it works.
So one thing about me is I'm gonna always intake information and learn as much as possible. So like even my senior year of school, like man, I was in school, but I won't in school.
Right.
So when I was still in school, because I had to sit in school to play my games, like play the football games.
For sure.
I was watching videos on YouTube about Warren Buffett, Jay-Z, financial literacy, all these things. I was just constantly doing research on that. But I wasn't 18 yet, so I couldn't actually invest in something. You couldn't get credit before you're 18, things like that.
Right.
So as soon as I turned 18, got a credit card, started building my credit up, invested in stocks, all of that.
Dog, where was my mind at 18, dog? Like the football part was down pat, but I couldn't get out of that. Like,
man, I just always thought long term. At the end of the day, like,
I wish somebody would have spoke that to me. Did you have somebody in your corner that was like kind of like?
I did have some real good people in my corner. I'll say, you know, my parents, they were always speaking life into
Very
me.
wise.
Now, at the time when you were a kid, you're not trying to hear that, man.
Right,
Especially high school, I only care about 2 things: football and you know what else.
Exactly,
you know?
exactly.
That's all I cared about. So I'm not trying to hear. They used to sit down and have long talks with me like at least once a week, about an hour long, how I need to get my life straight, get my mind on straight. I won't try to hear that at the time. But when you just constantly have these people pouring into you, it just seeps into your brain. So subconsciously, I would actually be learning from them and taking their advice. And also, you know, I had some good role models at my school, like my coach, you know, other people who would pour into me, because I was a kid that I was very strong with. I wanted to do my own thing, and I felt like everything I was doing was right. So I bumped my head with a lot of people, unfortunately.
Okay.
But you know, you have to live and you learn.
Yeah, exactly. For sure. Yeah, man. I've the living and the learning, bro. I've had so many people say things to me that I felt like maybe if I would have took them up on that offer, like even friends I seen go to the military, like even though they only did like 4 years, come home, but it's like the certain benefits.
Military is a hack,
like,
man.
I'm like, man, maybe I should have did that. Like, you know, like instead of chasing around these schools, I was like, now you look back on it, you go, damn, I could have saved myself some time. But I wish I had more people, or I wish I had access to more like what I'm trying to do now, where somebody could have just been.
The great thing is now with the internet, though, like the kids now, you have a lot of access to it. You just got to get to the right thing.
Exactly.
You know, when you were in high school and such, it probably wasn't as prominent. Even when I was in high school, the internet wasn't as prominent as it is now. You know, I don't even think TikTok wasn't a thing then.
Bro, but I think we had just got on when I graduated. Yeah, we had just got on like Vine.
Oh yeah. So it definitely wasn't
like
people. Like social media wasn't
like 2014.
Like so Facebook was just like jump, but Facebook was just like, posts. It wasn't like actual real information.
It was everything's changed since 2014. Dog, I'm telling you, man. But you know, to kind of like just sit back and talk about you a little bit, man. What's some of your goals? What's a short-term goal for you? What's something you're chasing right now?
Short-term goal, something I'm chasing right now. I guess you could call it short term, but I don't really consider it short term because I know it won't be this year necessarily, but definitely within the next 3 to 5 years. My goal, the main thing I'm working for, $1 million a year. Okay. That's the main thing that I'm working for. Right. So every single thing I'm doing is aligning with that. Right. So if you think $1 million a year, you're like, God dang, like that's a lot of money. But if you break it down, $83,333 a month. All right, let's break that down even more. So you need either 10 streams that pay you $8,000 a month, which is extremely hard. I wouldn't recommend anybody do that. You got 8 streams that pay you $10,000 a month, or you could do 4 streams that pay you $10,000 a month. That 4 stream or $20,000 a month. I'm sorry. That 4 streams that pay you about $20,000 a month. That's kind of what I'm gearing for, because with real estate and everything that I do with real estate, that's very. It opens so many doors. Yep, exactly.
Nah, that's what's up, man. Hey, that's lit, man. If that's a short-term goal. What's a long-term goal for you?
Man, my long-term goal, and I haven't even really shared it with that many people, but my biggest ultimate goal is I want to open up a school. Cause like being a kid, and especially like being an athlete, and just kind of growing up a certain way, I've seen like how education can impact kids. So that's really my biggest thing is I want to open up a school similar to like LeBron's I Promise school. Right. Like I want to do like that same thing and make sure kids are receiving proper education. That's dope. Like that's beyond the money, beyond the materials, anything like that. That's my main thing.
That's really getting involved. That's
exactly.
Damn, that's a legacy to leave, bro.
Yep, that's what it's about, man. At the end of the day, legacy. These money doesn't mean anything really. Cars don't mean much. Jewelry doesn't mean much. Right. But people will remember your legacy, how you treat people, and what you did when you were here.
Right. Oh man, I have yet to figure out how, but I know when I tell people, I'm like, bro, I'm gonna have $100 million one day. Yeah. They look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, I don't know why that feels like I shouldn't be able to say it, but I say it confidently. Like I don't know how, bro, but I just know it. I'm like, the houses that I really like and really want, I can't deny myself that I feel like that's a goal that you can chase. But I feel like people are out like they don't want it because
they don't think they can do it.
Right. Yeah. And then you sell yourself short, so you make yourself feel like that ain't even something I live in. But I'm like, bro, I see myself on that balcony, bro, waking up in the morning. I'm like, man. It's just something about it where it's just I like big dreams.
Yeah, and you gotta believe in yourself. That's where it starts. You gotta see it and then you gotta believe it. Like you said, people will doubt themselves. but you just can't. That's one thing about me. Like, even through all my struggles and everything like that, I just never doubted myself. Like, my first year in real estate, I only sold 2 houses. Pretty much everybody was telling me, you probably should quit. You should get this job at Amazon. UPS is hiring, all of these things. And, you know, I'm young at the time. I'm 20 years old, black kid, tattoos down my arm. And I don't really hide, you know, my tattoos, nothing like that. So I could have had that seed plan of self-doubt, but I just always believed in myself. It's like, okay, I committed to this real estate thing, so even though it's not working right now, I'm going to stick to
really
it.
Do it.
Exactly, until it works, because it's going to work.
Okay. No, that's tough, man, because it's a lot of people that probably need to hear that part right there, you know, because everybody think it's bread and butter. I talk to a lot of people, and, you know, it's either you got it or you don't type mentality. That's how we assume. Like, it's like, yeah, they got it. We don't. You know what I'm saying? And you
can get it, though. That's the thing. I've
been telling
people, bro, I had no talent whatsoever when it comes to sales, no background, no talent in real estate, nothing like that. When I first started in real estate, I'm on the phone like this, my hand shaking, you know, I'm all
nervous,
like that.
Man.
Exactly. But you can build that talent inside of you. It just takes hard work.
Right.
That's the thing. Like, it just takes hard work, and I got it from the ground up, so I can actually tell that to a person, you know, versus people who kind of started at a higher position.
Right.
They can't really relate. But that's why I like to give as much information as possible, because I really got it from the ground up, and I can tell you, you can do it too. Anybody can do it too.
Right. Do you feel like because a lot of people yearn to be their own boss, right, and create their own income.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you work more now or when you were working at Foot Locker?
Most definitely, I work way more now. What the thing about being your own boss, people want to be their own boss because they think they're going to get like time freedom. When you first, and I'll be telling my agents this, when you first start, you're not going to have time freedom because you have to work so hard. What you can do is you can kind of grow out of that, though, by scaling your company, by hiring other people and things like that, which I've been blessed to be in a position like that where I am able to get some of my time back. But to start out, when you're that single person, that single member LLC, nah, man, you're going to have to work way harder because you got to establish yourself, too. Just because, you know, you may know people from your neighborhood or whatever, you may be cool with them, but just because you have a business don't mean they're going to support you.
Start talking money. And
exactly, yeah. And people actually get weirder, I would say. A lot of people that are close to you aren't going to support you. I know that happened with me. I know that's happened with a ton of people. You're going to get way more support from strangers, and they're actually going to respect you more versus those people that you know.
Bro, you have no clue. And I'm not going to say too much, man. Just know, like, even this sit down between me and you.
Yeah.
It's a difference. You know what I'm saying? And I know I'm trying to learn to network more and get out from just being around my circle. You know what I'm saying? Because the world's big, man. And even when I was in Atlanta, I ain't really do too much networking. I stuck to my crowd, you know, my circle. And it was just... it's beneficial, but it isn't. You know, like
it's
you
not,
find,
man. Yeah, you gotta step out. You gotta meet new people. You never know who knows who. You know, your life can change with just one conversation.
For sure.
You can meet somebody. It doesn't even have to be monetary. It don't have to mean y'all do a deal or y'all get in business together. But they can plant a seed in your head, give you some idea. Like, I just had a meeting last week with somebody. They gave me this amazing idea that I would have never thought of, and it was just a regular meeting that I normally wouldn't have even took, but I took it just cause. And they gave me an amazing idea. So you just gotta just constantly be outside, networking, and just get in different environments. That's the thing I've really been doing a lot, is just getting in different environments. I know, like, sometimes we can try to go to where we're comfortable at. So it's like, okay, like, these people look like me. They kind of came where I came from, so I'm going to stick with them. But nah, man, you got to get to where you're uncomfortable at, because when you're uncomfortable, that's where you grow. So, like me, I'm going into, like, I was just in Montana last week. Cowboy hat on, riding horses, hiking in mountains. I never thought I was going to do that when I was growing up. But I'm in a position where I need to be comfortable with being uncomfortable and expanding myself, because going into those environments, I'm taking on a whole different new worldview of other people. Now I have my experiences, plus their experiences, just making me smarter, wiser, more educated.
Nah, that's dope. That's definitely... that's big, man, because I find myself, you know, honestly, kind of like you said, man, you know, the hair, tattoos. it's certain rooms I be like, nah, I ain't even gonna go in that room over there type. And I'm like, I've met some good people.
Yeah.
But it's easy to still be like, all right, I met them, they was cool, but I still don't want to walk in that room like, you know, I still
gotta go in there like you own it, man. The thing is, I know what rooms you're talking about, and it can be very intimidating, but you'll find out they actually love people that look like us or look like you.
For sure.
They love the culture because they don't really have no, like, bro, just think, like, why do, even when NWA and stuff was out, the main people that was buying their albums was the white kids.
Right.
So it's the same thing. Like, they love the culture. They just know they can't be a part of it. Same reason why the white people want to say the N-word.
Right.
They just want to be part of the culture.
For sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's something that they actually want.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Man, I'm going to get around a little bit more. I'm going to be a little bit more expandable. I just think that, you know, it's a dog-eat-dog world. And I think because of how cold it can be outside, more people become a little reserved to just what you would consider the norm. But then that's kind of like being stagnant.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so I try.
Like I said, man, you gotta be comfortable with being uncomfortable, because that's how you grow. If you just staying the same, there's no way you can grow. But if you are getting in places in which you haven't been before, you're gonna be forced to grow. I like to say, pressure creates diamonds at the end of the day.
For sure. No, for sure. Man, you got some real serious bars on you, bro. No, for real, but you got some bars on you, bro. Do you feel like, because I seen you got a podcast as well.
Yeah.
You sit on there and just give out plenty game, or is it more so
a lot of times I'll bring on guests and such. So people who are in the business world, whether that's real estate, whether it's finances, anybody in the business world that can provide value to the audience is what we like to bring on. I don't even usually take the lead. I'll let the guests take the lead. I'll kind of chip in and here and there.
Nah, that's dope, bro. Nah, that's dope, because I was looking at it and I was like, okay, he got a bunch of stuff going on. I was looking at it, I was like, okay. I was like, yeah. I was like, he really.
Like, man, it's hard finding time, and that's not even cracking the code. Like I told you, my goal. So I got a few more things I got to add to the Rolodex to get to that goal, which,
which is why I definitely appreciate you, giving us some of your time today, man, because I definitely know, you've been running around. I know you told me you had a lot going on, so I definitely appreciate you, tapping back in. You didn't have to, you know what I'm saying? So that's always appreciated. Now, how do you feel when you see, there's a young boy, right? Because I've had this situation kind of recently happen to me.
Okay.
Young boy just comes up to me, kind of just wants me to take him under, just take me under your wing.
Yeah.
Don't know what you do. Okay. Don't know how you do it. Yeah. But I want to do it. Have you been through something like that? And how would you go about that in a position to where you're not breaking yourself?
Yeah.
But you don't want to discourage the person you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, this was all, for me, it was all based off of still trying to motivate the next man.
Yeah.
And I can't tell this 18-year-old, I ain't got nothing for you. It don't come off right. You know what I'm saying? But it's I seen people who come to me like young boys and be like, bro, they won't even holler at me. They won't talk to me. I'm trying to get my foot in the door. I ain't got no bread.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you got to get a little money. You know what I'm saying? I tell niggas to get a job, of course. But when you go through that, how do you deal with the youngest? And, how do you keep them motivated?
One thing that I like that I really do is I try to put people on who wouldn't normally have gotten a position. Like, my first employee that I hired, she was a young girl that didn't really know anything about real estate, but she came. The thing I'm looking for the most is, are you hardworking and are you willing to step outside that box?
For sure.
So she came to me. She had reached out to me on DMs, and I was like, no, I'm not really looking for anything at the time. Then she reached out again. Same thing. Then she reached out again.
Consistent.
Like, this person's persistent and consistent. So I got on the Zoom with her, and she was like, yeah, I don't have any real estate knowledge. So I'm like, man, I don't really know what I can do. But at the time, I was looking for an employee for a certain position. So I'm like, all right, can you promise me you going to work hard? Can you promise me you going to be willing to learn? She was, she got trained up, and now she's doing a lot of transactions for my team. She's making
that's what's up.
Way more than what she was before. She was working a server job. She quit her job to do this.
That's what's up.
So my advice for the young people I say is, man, even if you don't have any money now, that's okay. You got to have the willingness to learn, and you got to have hard work. Those two things will get you far.
For sure.
You got to have both. You can't just work hard, because some people will just work hard and they'll just be closed-minded and not willing to learn. You're not going to go far. And then some people are willing to learn, but all they do is just sit in a room and learn every single day and don't
apply to work.
You got to have a combination of both. So like if a young person comes up to me, I'll give them that advice, and I'll see like, okay, what are you good at? Like, what are your skills? Can I help you out with something now? But also too, because it is a lot of people that'll ask, like, to be put in a position, and if it's so many people that are asking, you kind of got to prove yourself in a way, I'll say.
Okay.
So just like she did, that example I gave, just constantly being persistent, just constantly show up, man. Like back in the day, rappers, how they got on was they would show up outside the studio and singing in front of the other rappers.
Right.
That's how they got on. I think now people just want to be too cool, right? They want to, I think I have this many followers, so I'm going to DM this person and he needs to respond to me.
Right. And it don't work like that.
It don't work like that.
For sure.
It don't.
No, for sure. For sure. that last one is definitely true. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think I caught on to that maybe 2-3 years ago. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah. These folks ain't playing.
Exactly.
They'll look at it and everything and we're like, and keep it moving, bro. Hey, listen.
You gotta provide some value, man. You gotta
I'm telling you, bro. And then the approach is everything as well, you know, because
if you be like, yo, come on, bro.
Come on. Man, it's just I seen somebody say he was actually just trying to link up with me, and he was like, put me on. Like, that was the only message he sent me. He was just like, I was like,
what am I gonna do with
I don't even know.
Exactly.
I don't know what you want from me, bro.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying, man? So I find that I think with the youngest, man, I want them to be inspired, and I try to give them as many directions as I can. I feel like that's why I want this platform to be a thing.
Yeah.
Granted, I still want to inspire somebody like myself too, because I'm 28.
Okay.
So I know it's somebody my age that's sitting on the couch right now.
Yeah.
Struggling.
Yeah.
They thinking about what they're going to do next.
Mm-hmm.
And I be looking for people that I feel like can inspire them.
Mm-hmm.
And that might get them off their ass. Because the same thing that I would tell a youngin', I might structure it a little different for somebody of my age.
For sure.
But still, put in that same type of work, you know, because I'm not, when I have a goal, I chase it.
Yeah.
When I know I got a goal, I chase it. Now, see, things that I'm intrigued by, I can become nervous.
Yeah.
Things I know I want, it's easy for me to just do. Like this. After the first 2 episodes, I had to shoot the first 2 episodes in front of 30 people because it's so packed.
Yeah.
I was cool though. You know, it was rough, but I got through them.
Yeah.
Threw away both episodes, deleted them both.
Should have published them.
Man, they was both. I deleted them both. They was an hour and a half long a piece. I was like, why did I even sit there that long? But
gotta put them out so you can see your progress though.
Bro, I wish I would have, bro. But I was upset, you know. But I got through it, you know. And I actually like going. I'll fly. Like I tell everybody, I'm like, I come to you. I work it out. We can meet somewhere. I'm not always just you need to come to me. Nah, man. I just really want to meet with the value that you have.
Yeah.
Is worth me getting out of, you know what I'm saying, and making it happen. You know, I flew to, like I said, with Kelvin, I flew to New York.
Word. Okay.
Got that up there.
Yeah.
Was trying to do it in Dallas, but things took a little time. You know, and I actually was trying to meet with the comedian. I like being around people who motivate me to do better. You know what I'm saying? I could sit, honestly, bro, we may be nothing alike, but I can sit and listen to you talk all day just because of the game you can give. That's the type of person I am. You know what I'm saying? I like learning. I like hearing something I don't know. What was that saying that 50 Cent said in that little video? He was like, you only as smart. He's like, you only go as far as the people you sit around and talk to for no reason. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay. I was like, that makes sense. She was like, I was like, all right, so I got to talk to more people outside of my circle, get knowledge, you know what I'm saying? But overall, bro, I know you was a busy person, and I really just wanted to get you out. I kind of also wanted to dabble on a couple of questions before I let you go, bro.
Okay.
Now, when when I was talking to you earlier. These are the last couple questions, man. When I spoke to you earlier, we was talking about how somebody was explaining they're pulling something from something, right?
Okay.
And they got a house.
Okay.
So if you already got a mortgage, right? Say you got a mortgage, and you're already paying a mortgage.
Yep.
You can go get on that house, that same house. You can pull a loan on that same house.
Yeah. So what you're referring to is a HELOC, so home equity line of credit.
Okay.
So you're pulling from your equity from a house. So if you just bought a house, for example, and let's say it's $300,000, and it'll appraise at $300,000. You can't do that because you have no equity in the house. But let's say you bought the house a couple years ago and you build up some equity. So if it's worth $300,000, but it's currently worth $200. No, I'm sorry. Let's say it's worth $300,000, but you got $100,000 of equity to play with. So your payoff is under $200,000. You got $100,000 of equity to play with.
Okay.
Then you can take that $100,000 and you can get a line of credit on that, and then you can use that for whatever you want. Now, some people do dumb things. Well, I'm sorry, I shouldn't call it dumb things, but things that aren't like.
What you call it? Like ethical?
Not ethical. No, I'm not gonna say that. But like things that can't help grow their income. Like people will go on vacations, buy a yacht, buy some new cars with it. I don't think that's smart. Okay. What I would say is reinvest it. So you can use that HELOC, for example. So let's say that $100,000 example, you can put that into purchasing another house. Okay. Now you may think, man, what house am I finding for $100,000? Okay, that just depends on your market. What you can do is you can be a partner in on a deal. You can get in on a deal with that $100,000, and then you can take in some other partners. You could even, let's say, do something called a syndication, where you take a bunch of partners, y'all go in together on something big like an apartment building, a commercial building that's bringing you tens of thousands of dollars a month, and you didn't even have to put your whole $100,000 up. Maybe you only had to put 20 up, 30 up, whatever it is. So there's so many different ways, and that's kind of what I wish I would have known when I first started in real estate, because you don't really have to have money to get started in real estate. That's the thing. People think you have to have money, but real estate is so vast. There's so many different things in real estate. You don't have to have money. You just need those two things that I talked about, which is working hard and having the willingness to learn.
Right. Man, dog. Okay, I got some research to do. I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I find that valuable. I'm not dumb, so I know when something is sitting in my face and it's practically saying, I could take care of you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You definitely can. Yeah, who was I listened to where I went to this summit not too long ago, and Grant Cardone was speaking. He's basically calling everybody an idiot if you have equity in your home that you're not using. Now, there's different types of investors, so he's super high risk. So, like,
Grant is straightforward, dog.
Yeah, he's very straightforward.
I'm saying,
like, God,
blunt personality for real.
Yeah, he gonna make you turn up. Like, he gonna make, as soon as we got out, everybody's on their phones about to do some type of work. You know what I'm saying? So, that's basically what we were saying. Like, you all shouldn't have no equity in your home. Now, that's what Grant said. I'm not saying that. It just all depends on how risky you want to be. But I mean, he does have a point, though, in some sense. Like, what's the point of just having equity in your home if you're not going to do nothing with it?
Right.
That's how you use your home as an asset. A lot of people think your personal home, all right, I got a personal home, so that's an asset. In a sense, yes. But if you're just paying the mortgage, you're not getting any income from it. Does it really count as an asset? I mean, I have to look up what the legal definition of an asset is when it comes to that. But you can use your home for so many different ways than just paying your mortgage every month, you know?
Okay. See, that's some game that I can take. Like, I got some family members that's going through, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, that's crazy, because I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about it. I'm like, okay, this is how guys is doubling up and tripling up faster than normal. Just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just pull from this, go and get this, cop this, and I'm gonna just keep going. So now I may not have the actual cash, but I got something that's worth 10 times, because I got 10 properties. You know, I done went down the line and boom, boom, boom. Which you can do that like that.
Yep.
Okay. Man, dog, man, that's a jewel right there.
Yeah, man, there's so many different ways. So
that's a free jewel right there.
Just do some more research when it comes to that. I would tell anybody that it's so many different ways, like, you know, even private money lending, things like that, so you don't have to put your own money up.
Okay.
If you're doing like flips or any deal, you can get a private money lender. Well, they'll give the cash for it. Now, of course, you got to pay them back.
Right.
But they'll put the cash up so you can still get your cash and get into other projects. That's how people are able to do so many projects at the time.
Because a hard money lender, that's how he make his money.
Yeah, exactly. And
that's crazy.
Lender, they're fine with it too because they're getting paid the points and they're getting paid the interest. So think like, let's take somebody. Let's say
What we talking like? We talking like 10, 15% interest or some shit?
Just depends on the deal and the terms they set. So let's say like it's your mom or somebody. They got a regular job.
Okay.
They got a 401k. They're putting money into that. Let's say they got 40,000 in their 401k just sitting.
Okay.
Or let's even say they got a savings account. Well, let's say 40,000. That's not really getting you no return. You may get like 1% on the savings account, if that. Well, what I would suggest is approach them and be like, hey, I have this deal right here. I'm going to run the whole deal. You don't have to do nothing. All you got to do is just give me the money for the rehab to get in the deal, and then I'll give you, certain terms. So it just varies. You can charge points, or they can charge points up front. So it would be based on the rehab amount. So let's use 40,000. Kind of hard to figure in my head. So let's say it's 100,000.
Okay.
Right. Let's say it's 100,000 that you're looking to get private money for. If they charge you 1 point, that is $10,000. Right.
Okay.
Because you do that number times 0.01.
Right.
Now that's for 1 point. Right. And if they could charge you however many points they want to, typically 2, 3 is typical for starting out, and then it's interest per month. So it's usually 10 to 15. I'll say 10 if they really like you.
Okay.
But 15 is probably typical.
Does it get higher than that at times?
It can, because the private money lender can set any terms they want. If they want to be like 20 points and 25% interest rate.
And you just got to know what you're dealing with.
Yeah, exactly. You just got to know what you're dealing with.
Okay, because you can walk into a situation, get some money, and mess around and be in a...
Yeah, be in a worse situation. And that's why the education is super important too. Because don't just be like, hey, I got this potential deal and you don't really know the details of it.
Right.
Because that private money lender, probably what they're going to do is put a lien on the house and things like that too. So if you don't have your numbers straight, they could foreclose and take that property.
Okay.
So you just got to be smart with it. And that's why I always suggest anybody new, just partner up with somebody, because this can be a lot of things to do by yourself as a newbie when it comes to real estate. So just partner with somebody else. You got to think, what is your advantage when you're new? Your main advantage is you have the time. You have the time to go out and find all these deals. You have the time to call all these sellers and things like that. So use that to your advantage and go to somebody who's established and basically say, hey, I want to learn from you.
And piggyback off of them.
Exactly. And in exchange for me learning from you, I'll give you
breaking bread. Bread, yeah. Exactly. Okay, that's a better way to do it. Okay, so that you don't, because
it's high risk. It is very high. Any investment, especially real estate, is high risk. People tell you it's not high risk, they're lying.
Okay, it's a risk. It's a risk.
It definitely is. Yeah. Okay. It's not guaranteed. Real estate does appreciate, but when we're talking about real estate investing, flips, and things like that, it is not guaranteed. You got to have your numbers right. You got to have your information right, or else you can be in a bad position. I know many investors who their first flips, even first couple of flips, they lost money on them. So you just
trying to get your money back at that point, man.
Yeah, at that point they're just trying to get it. I was just talking with somebody. They were a private money lender on the deal, and they were telling me that one of their borrowers, they were in the hole about $25,000.
About $25,000.
Yeah, they was in the hole $25,000. Like imagine doing all of that, finding a deal, rehabbing it, spending all that time, months or whatever, to lose $25,000. Like,
that's damn, man. I don't know if I got that in me just yet. I think you gotta like just step in and like go through the ropes, because you gotta go through the fires to be able to get through them. Looking from the outside in, it looks...
Or you just partner with somebody. Partnering takes your risk away.
Right.
Because if you have a partner who's experienced, they can be like, all right, don't invest in this deal.
Right.
Some, I know some private money lenders that'll actually, or most will vet the deal, and they'll be like, all right, don't invest in this deal, even though you brought it to me. This deal makes no sense. So they won't even support it.
Sure.
So just find a good partner that can kind of give you guidance. Don't just do it all by yourself. Is what I would recommend.
Nah, for sure, man.
People want 100% of the profits, but that's not the smart thing to do. A wise man once told me, would you rather have 100% of a grape or 50% of a watermelon?
Oh, that's another bar. Hey, okay, hey, okay, hey. Listen.
Take that 50% of water.
Man, give me that 50% anytime, man. Hey, listen, man. I'm always for the team, man. I believe that everybody can eat.
Yep.
But we are in an area where the struggle may is even a little different than it is in Atlanta or like a big city like New York where the teamwork is a little less, and everybody's a little bit more to themselves, and everybody's got to get it out the mud, and because of that, it make it even harder to network and communicate with people because you already feel like, well, I already know how this place is, I already know how everybody is. I'm not even finna go talk to them. I could have talked to you like 2 months sooner, 3 months sooner, but I doubted myself. I ain't even finna. I looked like 3 times, I was like, nah. I was like, nah, I ain't gonna do it. Because I'm like, I ain't finna waste my time. Because I got tired of everybody telling me no. So I was just being real. I ain't finna waste my time. But I understand. Like, I'm not knocking it. I just learned to accept it. Like, okay, if you can't, cool. They might be able to spin back one day.
Yeah, exactly.
So I keep a positive mindset now. You know what I'm saying? But
and don't take it personal too if people tell you, I tell everybody that, like, you never know what situations that people got going on. A lot of people that I've, gave money to, whether I hired them for a job, is people that I've said no or I've ignored or left on scene at first, but that's just because it wasn't that right time. Right. But they stayed top of mind and constantly followed up. And then I was ready, when I was actually ready, I'm like, hey, this person kept on reaching out to me. I need this type of service, so I'm gonna reach out to them.
Nah, that's dope. Nah, for sure, bro. I'm definitely a little bit more motivated after having this conversation with you, and we definitely gotta have a little conversation off the air. You know what I'm saying? So but just to sit back here, man, and close up, man. We've got some real game here today, man. We sat down and got some real knowledge, things that we need to go and pick through. I know I'm gonna go pick through it, bro. I appreciate you for stepping out, man. Like I said, I understand you're a busy man and you squeezed in some time. I'm trying to get you out here as quick as possible, man. But this has been another episode, man, of First Class and No Class with your boy Trizzythebagman and my guy Chris A. Williams, dog. All right, so listen. Hey, man, we got to do this again one day, all right? All right, brother, man, we out.